Auto Reverse is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Auto reverse.
And welcome to Auto Reverse, a show where we do a deep dive into hip-hop's most influential mixtapes. I'm your host, DJ Ryan Fresh, and I want to welcome you to the season finale of the second season of the show. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Spintronix's Dino, Rivera, and Chris Miguel's Imagine 8 SuperMix. In the 12 episodes that we've done since we've started, this is probably one of the older tapes, if not the oldest tape, that I've taken a look at. On past episodes, I've talked about the importance of mobile crews, and Spintronix is one such crew that has a legacy involving them. Truthfully, this is a group that I found out about recently because of Oliver Wong's book, Legion of Boom, a book that I've referenced several times throughout the last 2 seasons. And that being said, I feel like it's important to talk about how mobile crews have affected me personally as a DJ and my growth within the art form. Also, I want to give a big thanks to DJ Shortcut, who answered some questions I had about Spintronix and about the late 80s mobile scene in Daly City and Bay Area in general. This is an episode that I'm super excited to share with you guys, so let's get into it. Here we go. Spintronix, Imagine 8 SuperMix, today on Auto Reverse.
This is a test.
Yo, 1, 2, 1, 2. Party people in the place to be. We are Spintronix from Daly City.
This is a test.
I'm your MC, Mini B. And now, I'd like to present to you our own Imagine 8 SuperMix. Check this out.
I don't think that there could be a mix that captures an era and has aged like a fine wine quite like the Imagine 8 SuperMix by Spintronix DJs Dino, Rivera, and Chris Miguel. To be honest, Spintronix didn't come onto my radar until I read Oliver Wong's book Legions of Boom. But growing up as a Filipino American, you were ever only 1 degree away from someone in a mobile DJ crew, especially in the 80s and 90s. For me, I've been to many debuts and weddings where the music was provided by so-and-so's cousin. Actually, there's definitely a transition that I heard at a party that I went to in 1994 that I bit and on occasion will still drop. But I digress. I discovered DJing for movies, but mobile crews showed me, in person, the moving pieces of what DJs do.
I patterned my style after Cameron Paul. So Cameron has this way of telling stories with words, with lyrics. And that was what I like to do. And Chris was like speed mixing, you know, like every 16 beats, boom, 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 boom. That was his style.
He just was able to come out with songs that would work. And then like when I would come up with a part, he would go, oh, this song's pretty good with it, listen to this. Or we bring a song over, like got him a song that'll work with it. So we would like lock ourselves up down and practice until, you know, we come up with a set.
Upon reading Legions of Boom, there are quite a few passages dedicated to the Daly City-based Spintronix, so a couple years ago I searched them out, watched a documentary about the crew, and listened to their mixes. There's a wealth of them that you can find on Mixcloud, and I could legitimately do a series about just their mixes. Imagine 8 SuperMix is one that stands out because it stood the test of time.
Up through the mid to late 1980s, the biggest name in DJ and dancing showcases was Imagine. The Imagine parties, in particular, grew to have tremendous influence within the scene. Imagine's clout grew to such an extent that crews found their reputations improved simply by getting their names on an Imagine event flyer.
Well, for the old school, Imagine was a defining moment for the crew. Because our generation, that was the showcase, the battle to, you know, get involved with.
The mix itself is of its era and region. Latin freestyle and 80s R&B lifted up on a foundation built by the Roland TR-808, the drum machine which more or less defined progressive dance music in the 1980s. The 808 itself was a subject of a documentary, yet its impact on the large black and brown communities of the Bay Area was left out. Not unlike how the mobile scene itself was relegated to DJ and dance diehards. Otherwise, it was a footnote for most people, myself included. If not for Wong's book, mobile DJing would have been vague memories in my head, but because of it, parties with mobile crews came back to me, and I even found an old freestyle mix that my older sister had that I somehow inherited over the years.
Mobile crews were intriguing to say the least. As a 12-year-old going to my first school dance and seeing the equivalent of a mini rock concert surrounding a DJ was influential. That same year, I took my birthday money and bought just one turntable and mixer, hoping I can build my sound system the way I saw it done.
Shortcut is one of the many people who found a creative spark by watching mobile DJs, which was certainly something that rang true within the Filipino community. The sentiment echoes to today as evidenced by Marie Hamora's short film, Flip the Record, in which a young Pinay gets into the art of DJing and the gender and patriarchal challenges attached to it.
And how this is an amazing scene where these virtuosos like Mixmaster Mike of the Beastie Boys and DJ Qbert, they came from this scene where at 7th grade they were just like scratching and teaching themselves how to DJ. And in that scene there were also a lot of very strong women around them. Either they would be MCs, some of them like DJ Icy Ice, his sister was a DJ. So this story came about like us being very inspired by doing this documentary, learning all these stories from all the players in San Francisco, and us saying like, we would love to show like a fictionalized version of this.
From the late 1970s through the early to mid-1990s, the DJ scene was a dominant part of the recreational life of Filipino-American youth in the Bay Area.
In historical context, Spintronix were a force to be reckoned with. Again, they were a group that I didn't realize had such an impact before Wong's book. And yet the blueprint for going from a mobile DJ crew to a fully operational entertainment business is a great part of the Spintronix legend. To wit, I recommend checking out their documentary on YouTube, which is linked in the description. Speaking only as a fan of DJ mixes and culture, the Imagine 8 SuperMix is an incredible case of why Spintronix were so special. Mixed on 4 turntables, its song selection, scratches, and blends were nothing like I had heard before, and the fact that it was done live and without any overdubs or computers is a testament to the talent that the crew had within their ranks.
Hearing the SuperMix for the first time made my head spin trying to figure out how they did it. I was too young to go to Imagine, so I'd burn the cassette out, hearing it over and over again, just trying to picture how it was mixed.
Without realizing it until ages later, Spintronix are one of the reasons I got into DJing. My brief residence in the South Bay introduced me to mobile crews and their incredibly thorough sound system and lighting presentation and dope mixes. I've been very candid about DJing and my history with it, which is certainly a cornerstone of Auto Reverse. But looking at where my origins came from, it can be, without a doubt, be traced to Spintronix. It just took me a little bit of time, reading, and understanding to learn as much.
And that's it for this episode and this season of Auto Reverse. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you want to catch up on some of the other episodes that we've done, you can check the link right here. despite the hiatus that we're going to take while we prep for season 3, I'm still going to be doing some new videos. I actually have one that I'm working on right now, probably more in line with doing more unboxing, more reviews, and some other shorter documentaries that I'm working on, so I can't wait to share those with you guys. Also, if you've been following me on social media, which you can follow me here, you'll notice that Dawood and I have done a soundtrack for Auto Reverse that will be released shortly. It's going to be available as a digital download and as a cassette tape, a physical cassette tape. So, you know, keeping in theme with the show, to actually have something that you can put in your Walkman or whatever you use to listen to tapes these days. I also launched my website recently, ryanfresh.com, which is where you can book me for shows or check the calendar to see where I'm DJing at in the greater Seattle area, or if you just want to see any new stuff that I'm doing, it'll be on that site. And as always, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment on this video if you like what you see. I'd love to hear what you guys think I should cover for season 3 of Auto Reverse. Anyway, that's it for this season. Again, I am very grateful for you guys joining me on this journey while we explore some of hip-hop's best mixtapes of all time. So yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you guys shortly. I'm Ryan Fresh for Auto Reverse, and that's it. Peace.